Hello, welcome to today's video. My name is Lois and today I'm going to be going through some C.S Lewis books, one that I'm reading at the moment, one that I got recently, and two that I'm planning to read very soon. Spring has arrived, which I'm very happy about. The clocks have just changed in the UK, the sun is shining, there are blue skies, so I'm very happy about that. In fact, I wanted to film outside, but when I went on a walk with my brother earlier, I was very windswept, so I decided it would be better to film indoors. But yesterday I went on my first bike ride of the year as well, so I'm just feeling very happy about that. So the book I'm reading at the moment is How to Be a Christian, Essays and Reflections by C.S Lewis, and it's just a really beautiful, tidy hardback book. I think it was put together quite recently. It says 2018 on here. And so far I'm really enjoying it. I'm not quite halfway yet, but each essay is around 10 pages, so it's not too long. It's quite easy to read and to get into, and it just covers some really interesting topics. So far I've read on working out your salvation, on being concerned about more than the salvation of souls, on the dangers of pointing out faults in others, on living today while expecting the second coming tomorrow, and on forgiveness as a necessary practice. And as always, C.S. Lewis manages to get across some theological concepts in a very concise and persuasive way. For example, on the essay about forgiveness, C.S. Lewis distinguishes between forgiveness and excusing. However, when you excuse something, that's something that then doesn't really need to be forgiven because there's a justifiable reason why. And how we can be tempted just to excuse our sins to God rather than confessing and recognising them and seeking genuine forgiveness, and how we can often be hesitant not to see the genuine excuses of other people. And that both of these two things, excusing and forgiving, kind of need to go hand in hand. But I just thought it was a really useful distinction to make, because both excusing and forgiving are very necessary things, but it's very easy just to muddle them up rather than see them in their correct places. But I'm particularly excited to read the chapters on doubts and the gift of faith, on the appeal and challenges of home life, and on the Christian art of attaining glory. And something that's really nice about this collection is that it has essays from a range of Lewis's works. It has some from his classics like Mere Christianity, but there's also quite a few from The Weight of Glory. I read one from God in the Dock and another from The World's Last Night. So I think this is a really nice book to have. It's very easy to read, but with a lot of depth as well. So now for the book that I got recently. I've heard a lot of people talking about Till We Have Faces, and I've not read this book yet, but like I said, it seems to keep popping up everywhere, so I thought I should get myself a copy. I decided to have a look on Vinted, which I quite like to do at the moment, and I found a vintage copy for a very reasonable price. So this is the copy that I got of Till We Have Faces. And it's a very early copy. You can read here on the inside of the cover, that is the second impression. So yes, it says inside, first published September 1956 and reprinted September 1956, so it's the first reprint. I'm pretty sure I paid less than £10 for this book, including delivery, which is really, really good. Like, for a second impression C.S. Lewis book, in really good condition. There's a little bit signs of aging, but generally it's been kept really well. And this is how it looks without the dust jacket on. C.S. Lewis has based his novel Till We Have Faces on the classical myth of Psyche and Cupid. In this, Psyche's great beauty incurs the wrath of the goddess Venus, who sends her son Cupid to punish her. Cupid falls in love with Psyche and has her carried off to a stately palace where he visits her secretly by night. So I've not read this book yet. Let me know if you have and what you thought of it, but everyone seems to be talking about it at the moment. and I've heard many people say that this is their favourite C.S. Lewis work, so I do have some high expectations and I look forward to reading it. Okay, finally, the two C.S. Lewis books that I am very excited to be reading soon. And the first one is That Hideous Strength, which is the last book in the Space Trilogy. So I read the first book, Out of the Silent Planet, and the second book, Perelandra, and I'm now excited to be reading the last one soon. This is the one that I hear people talking the most about and using as a reference to some things that are happening in today's society. The first two books are set on different planets, whereas this last book I think is set on Earth, so I'm interested to see how it will differ in that way. I'm also excited because there is a bear on the cover, and bears are my favourite animals at the moment. It also looks like there are a few other animals on there as well, so yeah, I'm curious to see how the animals are going to draw into it. I do quite enjoy looking at book covers and seeing what you can get from them. In the third novel in C.S. Lewis's remarkable science fiction trilogy, newly married Mark and Jane Studdock are drawn into events very far out of the ordinary. The morning after a horrific nightmare about a decapitated head, Jane sees the same face in a newspaper and has the growing feeling that she is being warned of something real and ominous. But yes, let me know which was your favourite out of the Cosmic Trilogy if you read them. And yeah. And finally, the last C.S. Lewis book that I am quite determined to read this year is The Discarded Image, which is an introduction to medieval and Renaissance literature. At the moment, I am quite interested in the medieval period, and so I think it would be really cool to see what C.S. Lewis writes about it. The Discarded Image paints a lucid picture of the medieval worldview, providing the historical and cultural background to the literature of the Middle Ages and Renaissance. It describes the image, discarded by later years, as the medieval synthesis itself, the whole organisation of their theology, science and history, into a single complex, harmonious mental model of the universe. This also sounds very different from any of C.S. Lewis's other works. A lot of C.S. Lewis's non-fiction, apologetic works seems to be very approachable for the everyday person, but also full of depth as well. And then he has a lot of his fiction, which includes a lot of symbolism. And so I'm interested in how he's going to write this book about medieval literature. It just feels very different from the other things that I've read by him. So yes, have you read The Discarded Image? Let me know. And those are all the books that I wanted to talk about in today's video, so I hope you enjoyed, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye!
Abby.
Do you like the daffodils? The daffodils?
The daffodils.
Do you like the daffodils, Obi?